From the dawn of settled life, humanity's story has been one of growth, innovation, and conflict. Small tribes and scattered city-states, once isolated dots on a vast map, began to coalesce, their ambitions expanding with their populations. As these civilizations grew, their leaders looked beyond their own borders, seeing not just neighbors, but opportunities for expansion, resources, and glory. The Age of Empires was dawning, a period defined by monumental ambition and relentless conquest. Wars, once skirmishes over fertile land or water rights, transformed into something far grander and more terrible. They became the primary instruments of statecraft, the brutal, efficient tools used to forge vast, powerful empires that would dominate the ancient world and leave a legacy etched in stone and blood. The tramp of disciplined feet, the glint of sun on bronze and iron, and the unfurling of legionary standards would soon become the sounds and sights that heralded a new world order, one built on the foundations of military might. The earth trembles under the weight of 100,000 marching sandals, a rhythmic, percussive beat that echoes across the wide, sun-scorched plains. This is not a mere raiding party. It is a river of humanity, a disciplined force of professional soldiers moving as one. Legions stretched to the horizon, their iconic rectangular shields, the asterisk, scuta asterisk, forming a crimson and gold carapace at their head centurions, their transverse-crested helmets marking them as commanders. Bark orders that ripple down the ranks with practiced efficiency. Sunlight flashes off the polished surfaces of their asterisk larica, the segmented plate armor that defines the Roman war machine. Each legionary is a cog in this perfectly engineered mechanism of conquest, armed with the short deadly asterisk, gladius asterisk for close-quarters combat, and the asterisk pilum asterisk, a heavy javelin designed to bend upon impact, rendering enemy shields useless and breaking the cohesion of their formations. The air is thick with the smell of leather, sweat, and the dust kicked up by this inexorable advance, a moving city of soldiers, engineers, and support staff, all dedicated to the single purpose of extending the eagle's shadow. The sky above is a canvas of dramatic, cinematic clouds, their swirling gray and white forms seeming to mirror the turmoil and grand scale of the events unfolding below, silent witnesses to the march of history. On another battlefield, under a different sun, an equally formidable force arrays itself for battle. The Achaemenid Persian Empire, a civilization that stretched from the Indus Valley to the shores of Greece, fields an army staggering in its diversity and scale. Here, the uniformity of the Roman legion gives way to a vibrant, multinational tapestry of warriors. At the core are the elite immortals, 10,000 strong, their name a testament to their doctrine of immediate replacement, ensuring their number never faltered. They are adorned in ornate, scale mail armor, a shimmering, serpentine skin that offers flexible protection. Their faces are framed by soft tiaras, and they carry wicker shields and short spears, their quivers filled with deadly arrows. Alongside them stand cavalry units from the vast satrapies of the empire, Medes and Bactrians, on powerful war, their skill with the bow legendary, even from the saddle. Scythed chariots, a terrifying psychological weapon, are positioned on the flanks, their bladed wheels promising to carve bloody paths through enemy ranks. The commanders, often members of the Persian nobility, are resplendent in brightly dyed tunics and trousers, their armor inlaid with gold and precious stones, a display of the immense wealth and power of the great king they serve. This army is a reflection of the empire itself, a colossal, centrally controlled entity that draws strength from every corner of its vast domain, a testament to a different, yet equally effective, philosophy of imperial military power. The battlefield itself is a character in this epic drama. It is a vast, open expanse, a stage cleared for the collision of these immense forces. Lo, rolling hills offer tactical advantages to the commander who can seize them first, providing high ground for archers or a slope to add momentum to a cavalry charge. A meandering river might serve as a defensive barrier or a deadly trap, its banks becoming a desperate bottleneck in the chaos of retreat. The scale is monumental. From a high vantage point, the individual soldiers blur into massive, geometric blocks of color and movement. The Roman checkerboard formation, the asterisk triplex, Aces asterisk, stands in stark contrast to the long, deep lines of the Persian infantry. Trumpets and horns blare across the expanse, their discordant notes carrying orders, signals, and challenges. The air grows still in the moments before engagement, a pregnant silence filled with the jangling of armor, the nervous snorting of horses, and the muttered prayers of thousands of men facing their mortality. This is where empires are born and where they are broken. The outcome of the next few hours will determine the fate of nations, redrawing maps and deciding which culture, which language, and which gods will hold sway for generations to come. The clouds gather, darkening the sky as if in anticipation of the storm of steel about to be unleashed. The initial clash is a thunderous roar, a cataclysm of metal on metal, of splintering wood and guttural screams. The Roman asterisk, Pila asterisk, fly first, a deadly volley that darkens the sky for a moment before crashing into the Persian shield wall. The impact is devastating, shattering the wicker shields and creating gaps in the line. Then, with a chilling cry of Roma Victrix, the legions advance at a steady, disciplined pace, their short swords held ready. They close the distance, and the real work begins, a brutal, intimate affair of stabbing and hacking in the tight press of the front line. The Roman centurions are in the thick of it, their experience and courage a steadying presence, their voices cutting through the din to maintain order. In response, the Persian archers unleash clouds of arrows, a relentless rain that seeks out any gap in the Roman armor. The famed Persian cavalry sweeps around the flanks, their horse archers executing the Parthian shot, firing backwards at full gallop in a dazzling and deadly display of horsemanship. They probe the Roman lines, looking for weakness, trying to encircle and overwhelm the less mobile infantry. The scythed chariots, however, prove less effective against the disciplined legions, who have learned to simply open their ranks, letting the chariots pass through harmlessly before closing ranks again to cut down the panicked horses and drivers. The battle evolves into a grinding contest of attrition and will. The sun beats down mercilessly, glinting off discarded helmets and pooling blood. The ground becomes a treacherous mire of mud and bodies. For the soldiers, the grand strategy of their generals is lost in the immediate, visceral reality of survival. Their world shrinks to the man in front of them, the shield beside them, and the ground beneath their feet. On one side of the field, a Roman cohort, hard-pressed and beginning to buckle, is reinforced by a reserve line moving forward with unnerving calm to plug the gap. On the other, a unit of Persian cavalry successfully breaks through a section of the line, causing chaos in the Roman rear, before being met by a countercharge from the Roman asterisk equites asterisk. The air is a cacophony of war cries in a dozen different languages. The clash of swords, the splintering of spears, and the agonized cries of the wounded and dying. The cinematic clouds above continue their slow, indifferent procession across the sky, their shadows racing across the field of slaughter, intermittently shrouding the brutal tableau in momentary darkness. The struggle is no longer just between armies, but between two philosophies of empathy disciplined, professional legion versus the diverse, resourcers host. As the day wears on, the tide begins to turn. The relentless, grinding pressure of the Roman infantry proves decisive. Their superior armor, discipline, and the brutal efficiency of the asterisk gladius asterisk in close quarters fighting begin to wear down the less heavily armored Persian infantry. The Persian lines, stretched thin across the vast front, begin to fray and then break. A retreat starts in one section, then spreads like a contagion. The disciplined withdrawal of the immortals cannot stem the tide of the general rout. What was an ordered battle collapses into a panicked flight for survival. Now the true slaughter begins. The Roman cavalry, held in reserve for this very moment, is unleashed. They mercilessly pursue the fleeing enemy, cutting them down from behind, ensuring there will be no regrouping, no renewed threat. The battlefield, once a stage for strategic maneuvers, becomes a vast killing field. The grand standards of the Persian satraps fall one by one, trampled into the blood-soaked earth. The Roman eagle, held aloft and pushed ever forward, now stands triumphant over the scene of devastation. The victory is total, a brutal and emphatic statement of Roman dominance. The clouds part and the late afternoon sun illuminates a scene of carnage, a testament to the fact that wars had become the ultimate decisive tools used to build and expand the most powerful empires the world had ever known.